Hello. We've got a pretty big match here that we're looking at today. One that I'm very much looking forward to watching. This is Cannor versus Lyric. Lyric 3-2 going into this week. Cannor 2-3 going into this week. Both of them very much in playoff contention. Cannor really needs to win this one. And Lyric could also really do with winning this one. Because being 3 losses, not ideal. Really kind of needs to win this and the next one to have a chance in playoffs. Whereas Lyric winning this one and the next one will guarantee playoffs. So it's a really interesting one. It's also really interesting because you might notice something a little bit different about Lyric's team. There's a little and Cannor's, to be fair. But yeah, both of them kind of made some transactions like throughout the weeks, which I think this is the first time we've seen Cannor's Electabuzz. It's a very, very recent change. Or is there a recent change, but I don't know how recent. What was it? Yeah, so both of them made changes over the week. So, Cannor dropped Butterfree for Electabuzz and dropped Rotom Wash for Slowbro. Which is really interesting. So, Cannor getting the Slowbro kind of gives them a Trick Room mode. And also gives them a pretty solid electric type, like, overall. Which, not really something you can complain about. I guess when you already had kind of Tangrowth, you didn't really need Butterfree as well, so it kind of makes sense. But that's not the only transactions we can talk about this week. Lyric also made their first transactions. Those would be swapping Snorlax out for Milotic. They actually spare points from the from the draft, so they were able to drop the tier 3 Snorlax for the tier 2 Milotic. They also swapped out two of their a tier 5. They actually swapped out Dusclops for Pikachu, so they kind of like opted to lose a bit of the Trick Room mode for some more utility in offense, which I can respect. So yeah, very updated, bit of updated teams, and we're gonna see them immediately this week. So I'm looking forward to watching this one. We see the Electabuzz and the Slowbro come from Cannor, but we also see the Pikachu come from Lyric. I'm not sure what any of these Pokemon are wanting to do here. But as we've kind of seen before, I always have respected Lyric's team because I think it's super scary strong. We also see absolutely no hail. No hail whatsoever coming from Cannor. And it makes complete sense. Why does it make complete sense? Because Lyric has a T-Tar. So I think they kind of want to focus a bit more of a slower paced gameplay, which also actually I've just realized, yeah, like Trick Room with a Mega Mawile, and you got Rage Powder. Yeah, I can see Cannor's game plan here. I'm just not sure what Electabuzz wants to do. Nidoking can honestly play in Trick Room decently against this team. Like, it's good against Reshiram and Solgaleo in Trick Room. So maybe it was just Electabuzz kind of wants to be a revenge killer. As for the Lyric game plan is just solid. They've got incredible offense, and the Pikachu Clefairy is probably just like both supportive. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I'm very excited to see this one. This one was only played a couple of hours ago, I believe, at the time of recording this, so yeah, let's get into this. So Cannor's going to lead Tangrowth Slowbro, yep, against Pikachu Mamoswine as Balloon Pikachu, so Mamo can actually spam the Earthquakes here, which I like. This is fake out pressure from Pikachu, actually. This is actually really good. The question here, however, is can you stop Trick Room going up? Because you can fake out the Tangrowth, presumably, but can you take out the Slowbro with Mamoswine? I guess if you have Freeze Dry, you can. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure the calcs on that, so... Or maybe you have Taunt on Mamoswine? I think Mamoswine gets Taunt. Or just fake out the Slowbro and stuff before the Rage Powder goes up. I should have thought of that. Yeah, so there you go. That's just... Because Fake Out and Rage Powder, I believe, are both +3 priority. Let me double check, because I believe they're both +3 priority. I know Fake Out's +3 priority. I always will remember that one for some weird reason. This is where Rage Powder is not a bug type move. I'm like 95% sure it is. It is. Oh, it's only +2. Never mind. I'm done. So yeah, just fake outing first, just to make it so that Rage Powder doesn't matter. And then you get the just straight up KO on the Tangrowth, which we see no Sash, but also it makes sense. It's like, why you run Sash? You could be running Mental Up for taunts, which makes sense. Or maybe some kind of berry. Maybe a Fire Berry for the Reshiram, although I'm sorry, it's a Tangrowth. I don't think it's taking any Reshiram hit ever. But you have Mega Mawile in, and bringing him Mega Mawile against a Mamo when you don't have Trick Room up seems a little awkward. We see a straight switch to T-Tar here. Mega Evolve from Mamo. So you nuzzle onto the Slowbro, maybe try and slow it down a bit, as in like, oh dear god. Goodbye. Well, it worked. I meant literally like that. I didn't mean obviously slow it down so it's slower. I literally meant maybe you get the power here, because you can't really still take out the Slowbro, which is kind of the unfortunate part here. And T-Tar drops. That's kinda big. So, like, you've only got one Pokemon left. If it's Clefairy in the back, you're screwed. Ideally here, you really want Reshiram. Brings back up Mamo, and we're probably looking at a Protect Trick Room. We see Mental Up Slowbro. Okay. See the immunity, and Slowbro's living, and it gets up the Trick Room, and this is where Lyric's gonna struggle. We see the Quick Attack from the Pikachu, though. It takes that out, but Mamo's going down, and who's last? We're gonna see a Nidoking come out, and the Clefairy. Super unfortunate for Lyric. They just didn't have the offense here to kind of to get through this end game. Trick Room going up was a little too much for them. So, and I think that switch obviously really hurt. Iron Head on either of Mamo or T-Tar was really, really strong. So, yeah, this Trick Room mode's really helped Cannor. They basically was like, listen, I need a mode that isn't Hail, because it's just not gonna work against Lyric. So they picked up a Trick Room mode and it worked. They didn't get Trick Room up probably as early as they wanted, but it kind of probably ended up working in their favor. They got Trick Room up with Mawile on the field, and you don't want Mawile in Trick Room. It's base 55 speed, and it's gonna destroy whatever you have. So let's get into game 2. Maybe see how Lyric adapts here. We see same leads again from Cannor, makes sense. And this time we're seeing Reshiram Clefairy. So we're seeing a switch to Mamo and a switch to Pikachu immediately, as we see Rage Powder Trick Room. This time a Fake Out onto Tangrowth. popping the balloon from Scald, and then an EQ, killing the Pikachu. It's unfortunate. Reshiram comes back in. This is such an awkward position for Lyric, because they just don't have anything for Trick Room. Like, I don't think they were prepping for Trick Room, really. I think they were ready to just, like, actually dunk on Hale, and kind of just saw that and went, nah, mate. I don't want to deal with Hale. I know it's fair enough. So, literally brought no Hale, and I think Lyric may have just over-prepped for it. So, because now you just have, like, the slowest Pokemon you could bring in here is T-Tar. And, yeah, I'm just not sure. We see a switch out into Clefairy. Just double into this Reshiram, get rid of the Scarf, which honestly probably helps it more than anything. See the Mawile come out. Follow me, Clefairy, just to try and make it so that Reshiram's not taking the damage here. Which is fair. And try and get the Blue Flare off into Mawile. So there's actually a chance here. Nidoken's going to come out against Mamo. Mamo's going to go straight down to that crit. Wow. Yeah, that crit. Yeah, that crit super mattered there. There was no way that Mamo was going down. So that's really unfortunate for Lyric. They kind of got crit out there, but I think kind of prepped this week super well. Those transactions they made, which by the way, transaction window's closed now. Like pre-week 6 was the last time people can transact. So teams are final now. Well, I don't think Lyric, like, even, like, they got rid of their own Trick Room mode and didn't really have an answer to a Trick Room mode this week. And, I mean, we kind of saw that before where, like, even last week, when I played against Lyric, I brought a Trick Room mode, which even I don't bring Trick Room that often. That was the first week I did it. I brought a Trick Room mode. Maybe I even inspired Cannor. Maybe you can let me know. Just by like saying, listen, even though I had to fear a Trick Room mode from Lyric, because they had Dusclops Snorlax, but because they kind of lost that Trick Room mode, and the best thing they could really fight in Trick Room with was like a T-Tar, it really made them a lot more vulnerable to a Trick Room mode like this. So, and if they could stop the Trick Room going up, then great. But I just don't think they were prepped enough for it. They kind of went all in on beating up Hale and just unfortunately didn't pay off here. So, if I can get up standings now. Where is it? Schedule. Standings? Oh no, Cannor was 3-2 as well, actually. That was my bad. So Cannor's actually 4-2 now. Lyric is at 3-3. So Lyric still is in playoff contention. Well, as we kind of remember for the last match as well, spoiler, go check out the last match. Stream is now 2-4, and I think that does actually put them out of playoff contention. Maddie got their first win of the season last week, so if you didn't go see it and you have just been spoiled, do go check it out. It's a really good match. So Cannor's actually in a pretty good position. They can lose next week and still actually have a good chance to playoffs. If they win next week, they are pretty much guaranteed playoffs. Just because, like, so like full standings are myself at 5-0, Fat Rat at 4-1, Cannor at 4-2, Lyric at 3-3, QSN, for reference, took it for Erebus, if you haven't been keeping up recently, is 2-3, Airstream is 2-4, which unfortunately puts them out of playoff contention. Ad is 1-4, but they joined very late, so I don't think that score is reflective of their skill. And Maddie is 1-5. So, like, the kind of the bottom 3 are out of contention at this point. Lyric has to win next week to be in playoff contention. But I think they can still do it. I think they can very much still do it, so. But that will be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys with the rest of week 4, including my own match, which will be against Ad211. So, look forward to it, and I will see you guys next time. So take it easy.